Did any of you catch this sale last week? Advertised on Gibson's Instagram page, you could get 10% off the Mod Collection guitars. I don't believe this promotion is still running, but if we come over here to the older listings, it seems like they sold through some of them. However, it does seem that some of the less special ones have been sitting around. Like, I'm surprised the Dragon Firebird hasn't went yet, but can understand that some of these other ones might need more time. But let's go ahead and check out this week's offerings. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. One of the more interesting customs this time, a Les Paul 1957 custom reissue in Sea Space Green. Kind of a strange order of these words this week, but for $5,800, okay. So being a 57 reissue, you got the mahogany body and top. So they played on that by leaving it a really open pore finish. You see the red going through here? Makes me think of some alien stuff, with this unique color choice of red, blue, and green, but then uncovered plastics, regular ebony fretboard, and then, oh, they did it to the back, left the neck natural. I mean, I feel if you're gonna do this paint job, it should be everywhere. I feel a bit let down. But okay, it looks like the blue actually has a little bit of metallic flake to it, so maybe this one looks better in person, but I'm curious about the edges, if they were left natural or not, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have a photo to prove one way or the other. But now a 59 reissue in transburnt orange. That's about the same price as a brand new one, but a completely exotic finish that you're not going to find everywhere, with kind of the blending of the two different tops. Cover up the bottom half of the guitar, it looks like your regular, really flamey 59. Then move our shade up, and you kind of have this weird, wildly exotic, super stretched out flake. So kind of the best of both worlds there. But the fretboard looks really strange because the frets are darker than it. But our headstock's looking pretty plain, with the matching satin finish. And the back is a satin red. At first glance, ES330 root beer. Okay, root beer finish, is that what makes it special? No, the ES330 has not been in production for a while. So if we come down here, they tell us it's a 2020. So the odds are pretty high that this is actually a repurposed Slim Harpo. I'm not sure if I'm getting root beer vibes out of this one. This looks like a really dark ruby red slipper, but it certainly looks a lot different than how it used to. And here we can get a glimpse of that serial number. Yeah, that's really late December 2020. Totally a Lavelle. But this photo seems to suggest that they did it up in a satin. But now I'm curious if the Lavelle on the back of the headstock would actually show up under blacklight, similar to the aging test prototype of the Kazuyoshi Saito, so it was not visible in regular lighting. But along a similar flavor, we had Mauvine Satin, Les Paul Special at 18. Kind of a dark plum color, the golden knobs stick out a lot, but otherwise you've got black plastics. Or maybe they just couldn't choose what they wanted. The back's got these pearloid plates. But you get the continuation of your finish, but with a nice Grover tuner upgrade. That's something I appreciate a lot on this model. But oh, I didn't realize this was an SG custom at first. First off, it's one for the lefties, but it just seems like a regular red SG standard until you get to your fretboard being made of ebony and having the pearl block inlays. But they call this one Crimson Metallic, so I would imagine it's kind of a slightly sparkly satin finish, which is a strange combination. But the headstock's looking decent, you've got your Grover tuners, and it is DS0192. But now, a regular custom for 56 in Cosmic Jolt. Okay, I see it now. At first I was just like, oh, blue, but there's a bit of sparkles thrown into it. But then they tried to create some sort of a theme here with your plastics and pickups. So the pickups are ebony bobbins, however, they have the gold pole pieces as well as with the screws and the pickup rings. The bridge and hardware are gold. You go up to your toggle switch, it's black and gold. Go down to your knobs, black and gold. I'm excited to see how far they might have took this. Doesn't look like the hardware, the tuners got changed around like sometimes they do, but again, you get the black headstock veneer with the gold tuners. And we go from the blue body on the top to a really dark red. Interesting choice. But what is going on there? Unfortunately, no close-up shots. However, I did find this one of the top finish. I bet that looks awesome in person. I appreciate the gloss refins, because I know they take a little bit more time. It looks like we're getting custom Bucker Alnico 3s. But then a 60 standard in rose metallic glitter. Another one of those ones you gotta click on to appreciate. I just thought this was like really dark black, but no, that's actually going to be a deep purple. I like that one with the cream plastics. Although it looks like they left the back alone. However, it's got one of those mahogany bodies that has some figuring to it. But our glitter colors appear to be pink, red, and white. Maybe they should have saved it for Valentine's Day. Next, Gibson gets their Patti LaBelle on with the Mocha Choca Lata Yaya Les Paul Access Standard. That's actually really exciting because you don't see the Access standards every day. So believe it or not, there actually is a Floyd Rose hidden on that thing. It's just the black variety and the pickups stand out the most. The top is really dulled down in that brownish black burst, but that's a unique top. It's got that cross hatching, very similar to the early 80s of Gibson, but then you have like a really dark area right here within the figuring. And it nearly looks like a studio because they also gave this the widowed treatment because they've covered over the binding in the same color without scraping it off. So if you look on your fretboard, it almost looks like it has a brown layer of binding as well as the cream. Kind of similar to the Spotlight Specials, but then when you go to the back, it almost has this cool rosewood-like finish to it. I like the back better than the top. It's not quite as dark, you can appreciate the wood grain a bit more, but you can't see the comfort cut, the Access swoop, as well as your Apex head carve. And hey, this one actually still has its custom shop serial number to it. And hey, just for fun, they put a wooden truss rod cover on it and tinted our lacquer. But now as far as the UK offerings, we had a Modern figured in graphite satin. It's a slightly new finish for the Les Paul Modern, just slightly less dark, with a bit of metallic nature with uncovered pickups, but nice touch leaving it a natural satin back. But here is the real unique one this week. 70s Explorer Tuxedo, €3,000. So, it looks like it started life as one of the ebony finished ones, but then they just sprayed a white layer around it, kind of like an ultra thick layer of binding. I can appreciate that it's not going to be for everyone, but it is certainly unique because they took it the whole 9 yards, because look at your headstock. Exact same thing going on here, complements the actual binding on the neck well. Well, it would have if it wasn't all black here, but anyways, the entire edges are cream on this, so it wasn't just a pinstriped layer around it. Then you get to the back, they did the same thing here, and they just left it a white neck and put a tiny black stinger, essentially inlaid into the headstock, and wow, locking Grover tuners on top of that. A lot of care went into this, so I can totally appreciate that, especially because, all things considered, it doesn't have that big of a premium to it. This will eventually sell, no doubt. But as far as a standard refinish, I thought this was a lot of fun for the fall season that is now upon us, the Satin Sour Apple. That apparently started life as a 335 figured, and is now completely covered over in a new satin finish, so you cannot appreciate that anymore. But who knows? In person, maybe you can still see it. But the double cream pickups with the matching pickguard certainly took this from, ugly green guitar to, oh yeah, just need to throw some witch hat knobs on it. Maybe some pearloid tips on the tuners just for fun, but the back is completely matching and appears to have a slight metallic sheen to it. Oh, and so does the headstock. Cool. But those were the only 3 for this week. I'm not sure if that discount code worked on these. Yeah, and I don't pay too much attention. Their sell-through rate seems to be less than that of the USA. But here's a quick peek at what is left over within their inventories. Oh man, Wasabi never found a home. Seems the UK is not a big fan of the green finishes. I'm really surprised the champagne never found anybody. I just want to take a second to say, Gibson Demo Shop, you guys have been having a lot of fun this past month. I've been seeing a lot of custom color Explorer customs lately, but here's a Gecko Green Sparkle for $5,100. I think it was Music Zoo or CME. They were doing a couple of these. I know Bizarre Guitar has been getting quite a few of these custom colors as well. This one's kind of similar to that white Explorer we had just did, except for the base coat is green and you've got yellow glitter flake in it. Now this one just had some minor QC details, but they had one of the SG Modern Supremes in the 3 pickup ebony. That's kind of got a cool serial number, nearly a repeater, 214140400. A repeater in a different way, I guess you could say. But this thing was pretty sweet, 59 reissue, red Tiger Burst. For a substantial discount even. Those knobs really draw my attention. The numbers stand out. And yet it's aged, but then you get everything else to take in to appreciate their nice dark red burst. You don't find that too often on a Les Paul. But then the back was left black, but that would have had to have been a custom order that had some defects to it, because that's a regular serial number and it's just stamped demo rather than mod. But here's the big news. I think Gibson accidentally leaked a new model. I've been hearing some talks of a new Les Paul Studio coming out besides the Modern Studio. And I don't have any official information at this time, but it appears that they're going to make these with the cream binding right here, a la 2018 Les Paul Studios. That way you can actually see it, and this won't be like a direct replacement of them. But maybe these aren't going to have the mother of pearl logo that the Modern Studios do have. But as your trade-off, maybe we're going to be getting the gloss finish. So all I'm saying is, keep an eye out for this. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Personally, I think putting binding on a Studio, yeah, it's cool. You get a little bit more value for your money, but it kind of defeats the point of a Studio. But if you're going to have to pay nearly $2,000 for a Studio after tax, you might as well get a little bit more on it. Then the seldom seen 356. Got a pretty decent flame top to it, I would say. Nice tortoiseshell pickguard to match with your Les Paul custom style attributes to this one. And oh, nice. Lots of mahogany wood grain back here. Then there was a 50s P90 standard. Plain top, black plastics, red. No pickguard. That's what did it. That's what makes it look strange. It does have a carved top. It's just a little bit hard to see. But the gold hardware will also be something different. Then we had a Les Paul Tribute, which I really love the way these old Tributes respect. Maple top, plain satin finish. No binding anywhere, and you get the fun maple neck. Oh my goodness. There it is. That's why it sold. It's one of those ones that just randomly won the wood grain lottery and has some flame figuring in the neck. Nice. I've been wanting to review one of these things, and I've been waiting for the very right one to demonstrate that fact on, and I was curious why this particular modification spoke to somebody. Not only do you get that, but the flame neck and a discount. You always gotta check those tributes. But my friends, that's all I have for you tonight. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care. Well, cool. You're still here. If you're looking for something else interesting to check out, how about this one? YouTube says you're gonna like it.